Welcome. Thank you for joining the Live in Divine Harmony podcast. I'm Karmen, your divine synergist of Heart's Joy. I'm a spiritual leader of purpose and a numerologist. I help those who are turned off by church, who are seeking connection, fulfillment, joy, and purpose, who may be feeling frustrated instead of experiencing joy daily. They want to fit in and will do anything to feel good, but it's not authentically who they are or what they want. Through coaching programs and events, I guide my clients to live their purpose and live intentionally every day, leading to a fulfilled and joyful life. Thank you for tuning in. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, and hit that bell for notifications so you never miss another episode. Let's dive in.
Your why and your purpose is what drives your business, and your business makes an impact daily. In this new series, I'm talking with leaders and discovering how they're making an impact and intentionally living their purpose each day. So often we think we don't make an impact, and we do. So let's meet our guest. Lisa Morton is our first guest. She's with Pure Living and Elevated Living School. Lisa has been in the interior design industry for over 2 decades and has focused on the past 10 years on a holistic design approach and Feng Shui. She works virtually, which allows her to work with clients all over the world, offering holistic interior design, Feng Shui, and space clearings. After recently becoming a master teacher of Feng Shui, she launched Elevated Living School of Holistic Design and Feng Shui. She's also the host of the Feng Shui Living podcast and is passionate about helping busy women find balance and harmony in their environment. Welcome, Lisa.
Hi, Carmen. Thank you so much for having me.
I'm so excited. So I met Lisa, was it a year or so ago?
Just
Maybe?
about.
With Beauty Boost Indianapolis. She was a partner as well. And we just hit it off. And I'm going to let you share with everybody what I know what you do, but I'm going to let you share with everybody what you do.
Well, I was so happy to get to connect with you and so many other women through Beauty Boost. Such a cool connect group of women, right? Cool, really nice, interesting people. So I always love connecting with other women. But so a little on about me, I guess. I had been an interior designer for quite some time, and I got to a point where I thought I had my dream job. I was designing private jet interiors, flying around the world, working on outrageous projects with outrageous people. And I grew up on a farm in Iowa, so getting to travel the world was like, wow, and I got first class plane tickets and private drivers in my cars,
Nice.
right? So you'd think in the design community, I had my dream job, but oh, Carmen, I was miserable. It was great for a while until it wasn't, right? The stress for the jobs, the projects, the travel demands, I did it for several years, but it just took such a toll on me. And I ended up in a really, really dark place. Um, and I had to learn to dig myself out. I started meditating. I started doing a more routine yoga practice. I altered my diet. I worked with a therapist. I did all those things you're supposed to do, and they worked. But for me, I really needed to look at my environment, right? The designer in me had made everything pretty and everything looked great in my home, but the colors, the patterns, the textures I picked out for my space, just it wasn't supporting me. I look back now, it's like, oh my gosh, what was I thinking? Right. So I really wanted to explore how I can help my space heal myself. And it worked so well. And I learned so much that I wanted to begin to share this with other people. So I began studying a holistic design approach. Um, 15 years ago, and then started becoming certified in Feng Shui. I started my studies in about 2012 and received multiple certifications and just fell in love with the work. And I get to really, truly help people. I also get to work in people's homes and their environments, which is the designer in me loves, but I get to help people in a completely different level. I get to help them in a way I never dreamt that I'd be able to do. So, yeah, here I am. As you said, I became a master teacher this year, which was just like huge accomplishment for me, and just really grateful to be able to do this work.
Congratulations. It is an accomplishment for sure. Um, when we first met, I know there were some tips and tricks you'd shared with me about my vending table. So if you're a business owner listening to this, she is great at that. And you truly live rent free in my head because so a few different things, right? So as I'm looking around my home and my space, it's like, is this really serving me? Is this so I forget the name of the class, the colors class. What was that
Color
class?
mastery.
I love that. So if y'all haven't taken that, take that class. And it really educates you. Like I understand about color, but I normally focus on what do I wear? Because the colors that you wear for me is how I feel. Or if I want to feel a certain way, I put on a certain color.
Mhm.
And so I never thought about it in your house too. And
Yeah.
so as I'm going throughout my day, it's like, wow, it's time to shake it up a little bit.
All right. I love that. I mean, sometimes you just need a different set of lenses, right? We, okay, think about you go to a hotel, right? You walk in and you're like, oh, look at that interesting carpet pattern. Oh, look at the drapery panels. Look at the artwork. But our homes, we don't do that. So we really need to figure out a way to reset. And even for just a few moments, look at it with a different lens. Look at it as if you were a guest walking in for the first time, right? Because the colors that we migrate towards in our spaces, the materials we select, everything is subconsciously affecting you, whether you realize it or not. So it's kind of like telling you who you're going to be tomorrow and the next day and a year from now.
I love that. I never thought of it that way.
Yeah. So why not surround it by things that inspire you, that make you happy, that make you feel really good versus things that we feel we have to have in our home because it's the trend, or surrounded by gifts that we were given. I had a vase that I had for years. It was actually a wedding gift. It was pretty, but it was just not my taste. And I had it displayed. Okay, I'll say it. It was ugly, but I
That's
had it displayed. Yeah, it's got to go. But I'm like, I felt like I had to, right? Like sometimes we have those gifts, we have those things we think we have to have. But we don't. It wasn't making me happy. What I did is I ended up giving it to my mom. It matched her home beautifully. She loved it. She loved to display it. And then I didn't have that guilt, right? Just
yeah,
because someone gave you something at one time doesn't mean you have to keep it forever.
yes. Well, and I think I saw on socials you posted something about you can't have too many plants or something.
Oh my
And I
God.
had just bought a brand new plant for my bathroom, which doesn't
Mhm.
have a lot of light. And for me, I always thought, one, I never really thought about bringing plants into the home. I don't know why. And two, I always thought, oh, I'm going to decorate with my favorite colors, not realizing the impact that those colors will have in
Mhm.
that different space.
Mhm. Yeah. I mean, I want you to love the colors, but a lot of people think they have to pick the color of the year or they have to pick this neutral because that's what they've always done. So explore and be open to changing, be open to tweaking a little bit, and you don't have to go with a wall color. You can start small. I tell a lot of people, say I tell you to bring in um a water element into your space. That could be a small throw pillow. What's more fun than buying throw pillows? They're inexpensive, they're fun, you can find them everywhere. Or like a small candle, like start small, shop your home. So many people have so many things in their home, in a hall closet, in the basement. I've pulled out some beautiful artwork out of my clients' basements and we've hung them up in beautiful spaces. They forgot they even had it.
Yep.
So shop your home.
Okay, so let's go back to the throw pillow. So, for those of you who don't know, this is the year of the energy of the butterfly. And this actually came from Leanna Shanti. And so I purchased two yellow pillows. They're good size pillows. because I knew I needed new pillows. I wanted new pillows, right? It was time out with the old and with the new because I'm changing colors anyway. So I have like a dark gray couch and almost like a slate gray. So in my mind, so I can switch out the colors, like you said, and make it easy with throw pillows. So I
Yeah.
didn't know
I
that.
love that. That's so great. And it's kind of interesting. And so we're, following Chinese astrology. We're moving into the year of the wood snake. And think about that energy along with a butterfly. How amazing is this year going to be?
Cannot wait. I'm very excited. But
Gosh.
we saw what happened at the beginning of January, and it's just going to continue. And let's not go down that rabbit hole. A whole rabbit hole when it comes to numerology and everything. Yes, I'm very excited about Chinese New Year, which is coming up, by the way. So,
Mhm.
okay, go back to the color of the year. I want to talk, what'd you call it? Cinnamon?
So that is actually Benjamin Moore, I believe their color of the year is cinnamon slate. Oh, it's gorgeous. It is so gorgeous. So here's the thing. I I love red. I struggle with red sometimes because red brings in a fire element of feng shui. In feng shui, we have this 5 element system: wood, fire, earth, metal, and water. And fire is great at certain times, like during the winter blahs. I need to bring more fire. Like I should probably be wearing bright pink like you are today because I'm starting to feel the winter blahs. But you can surround yourself with a little more fire to wake you up if you're feeling sleepy, that seasonal affective disorder. But too much of it isn't great if you struggle with stress, with anxiety, if your kiddos are anxious. Then you want to be mindful of how much red, how much fire element you're bringing into your space. But what I love about cinnamon slate is it's this cozier version. There's like a depth to it. It's darker, it's kind of moody, and those big bold moody colors are so popular in design right now. So I think I could not be more happy with this version of red.
So, and you said moody colors. I've noticed that I'm drawn more to these moody colors. I was surprised by that.
It's interesting. I think it also is kind of the time of year, in winter we're going within, kind of cocooning a bit, and those deep moody colors kind of give us that feeling, like chocolate brown is big and charcoal and dark green has been really popular lately. So
Really?
it just feels really good this time of year, but things will shift when we get closer to spring and people want a little more life and excitement to their colors.
Well, and I felt like with the, would you call it
Cinnamon slate.
cinnamon slate, you could do pops of color with that. I could do
You
a
could.
pop of purple, or a pop of yellow.
Yeah, I think a camel or like a caramel would be like
Yeah.
cozy, like a big chunky throw. It's funny because we're seeing a lot of these colors that, every paint company comes out with their color of the year. And
Yeah.
we're seeing a lot of different um, reddish, purpley hues that I think is kind of fun because purple also kind of has like a magical, mystical vibe to it. Could be fun for this year to explore, a great purple if you've never played with purple before.
Okay. So share with me some of the impact you've had throughout your years, and especially since the feng shui, right? Since you've
Yeah.
been doing feng shui with some of your clients.
Oh my gosh. So, I mean, there was the time in my life where my impact was making it beautiful. I literally would have clients to say, Lisa, make my plane look cooler than my brother's, right? There was like no heart involved, and I struggled so much, right? They were cool, wild things you would never expect. I mean, we do like backlit onyx in the bathroom, right? Exotic, expensive, wild things, excessive things in the bathroom. But that's the world that was. I really wanted to help people connect with their spaces and realize the importance that their spaces are having. When I started getting into feng shui, I started getting clients that we were just kind of drawn together and it was a beautiful experience. They were going through illness, divorce, loss of a family member, heavy things and they needed support. They didn't realize that, like I didn't know why they were calling me. They didn't know why they were calling me, but we figured it out in the end. There's also the flip side too. I hate to sound like everything's heavy and dark and negative, but like people starting a new business, they're like, we're going to start our family and move into our new home this year, and we want you to help set it up. So there's like great fun experiences. But, one of my most impactful moments in my life, my career, was when I worked with a woman and she called me. I didn't know why I was going. I showed up with all my swatches, my samples in my car, and my bags and supplies, and we walked through the home. And then we went and sat at the dining table. We did just a quick walkthrough. We sat at the dining table. I'm like, okay, tell me how I can help you. And she said, Lisa, I am dying. I need you to help me set up my home so that when I'm gone, my kids and my husband can go on living.
Oh my word.
Right. It even took years before I could tell that story. I had to collect myself, and it was a beautiful experience. She had gone through several rounds of cancer. Things were just getting bad. She was tired of fighting, and the home did need some help. And so we went through, she needed some new carpeting, some new furniture. So we bought some of those things with the intention of certain elements to create grounding, to create, balance and support while they're going through this. We also took on some great opportunities. We did a collage wall of all their family vacations. So when she's gone, they could still enjoy all those photos, right? We brought in certain artwork to connect to nature. And we did a lot in this space. And I remember the last time driving home, leaving her, driving home, thinking, wow, how amazing was that we got connected?
Mm-hmm.
And it was this moment. I was like, I have no doubt I meant to do this.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just, I think of her all the time, and I know, she's been gone for several years now. But I know she supports me, and I will always remember that.
Yeah, that's
A
amazing.
different way that you wouldn't even think that I'd go
Mm,
in and help someone set up their home.
right. Well, and that's a long lasting impact too. So
Hmm.
you didn't just impact her and her family, but even potentially the people after that who purchased
Sure.
the house.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and
Mm.
those are things I don't think as business owners we think about, right?
Right.
The true impact, or we think we have an impact in that moment, that conversation, not realizing that like you are one of those people. For me, you've had a major impact with me where I mean, you're one of them that lives rent free in my head, right? In a good way. And so thank you for sharing that story because
Hmm.
doing what you do is a huge impact on so many people. And I believe that the clients who find you, that's who you're supposed to work with.
Well, it's interesting because there was also, my business approach has migrated so much, right? It used to be that Miss Professional, and I had my business cards, and I'd go to the networking events. And then I got to a point years ago, I'm like, forget that, because it was always those people that didn't need me. We didn't connect. Maybe that'd be one of those people that didn't pay you, one of those situations, or right. And once I let go and I'm like, the people will find me that need my help, and the people I'm meant to work with, whether I'm the person meant to work with them or someone else, we will be connected. And once I was able to fully take that on and grasp that, and everything shifted, and I've just gotten more and more of those really cool, amazing experiences and amazing clients.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And your story in the beginning, where you shared kind of where you were and where you are now, do you feel like your purpose? So for me, purpose shifts and changes and gets louder and bigger, right? Throughout our life. Do you feel
Mhm.
like that happened for you personally and professionally?
Yes, that's a good question. I struggled severely with perfectionism. And I think I had to go through that period, take my career, put it on the side. Just personally, I had to go through that period to then come out on the other side and find what I truly, authentically love and value and, find my true authenticity. So then my career, it's a whole different level. Like I love, as I said, people sometimes wanted things designed, even their homes back in the day when I did more traditional design. They just wanted to look pretty, to be like HGTV photo shoot ready. Who cares? I'm a big believer in living in your house. I have two giant English mastiffs. Have hair in our house, right? But we live in our house, and that's so important to live in it and have a space that supports you. It doesn't have to look photo shoot ready. Do I encourage you to keep it tidy and clear of clutter? Yeah, I'm always going to do that because it's going to make you feel better. But yeah, like surround yourself with things you love, things that warm up your heart, or as Marie Kondo says, sparks joy. Oh, you can go around your home, pick up everything. Does it spark joy or does it warm your heart? Does it make you feel good?
What got you into the business in the very beginning?
Interior design? I had a mom. So even though we grew up on the farm in Iowa, my mom was a very fancy lady and she loved to decorate. She had all her pretty things and it was always a thing to rearrange. And then I was very artistic as a child and I would draw floor plans. I would sketch in stuff. I would take my mom's Better Homes and Gardens magazines and I would improve the images. I would color and marker and design wallpaper on the walls. And um, I loved it. I remember begging my mom at 14, you'll remember this, sponge paint in the 90s.
Oh, yeah.
I begged my mom to sponge paint my room and it was amazing.
Wow.
I love doing that kind of stuff. I did initially, um, especially growing up in a rural community, there was one interior designer in town, and I didn't really understand that that was a job, to be honest. I was encouraged to do whatever I wanted, but I didn't really see that as a job. So I actually went to school for communications and then went back because I'm like, I'm not happy. I need something creative. So then went back and got into interior design and started studying design. And um, yeah, it's so interesting because then my podcast came about. So I'm using those communication skills that I learned.
Yep.
But like I swear this past year, if there was a theme for this past year for me, it was like full circle moment after full circle moment. It was mind blowing.
That makes sense. It was an 8 energy year and it was focused on career. So that totally makes sense.
Mm.
I believe that we had experiences, right, growing up or past jobs that helped us to get to where we are now. And it sounds like you are that creative, like you have this gift for it's really your gift. I'm even going to go so far to say it's a spiritual gift that you have that now you've turned your passion into a paycheck. Truly done that.
Mm-hmm.
And
Because
then
I knew I couldn't do anything else.
yeah,
Knew like I'm going to figure a way to do this because I have to do it because I don't know.
well, and before we started to record, you even mentioned how now you have clients throughout the world.
Oh my gosh, it's amazing. And it's so fun because, I do so much of my work virtually, and a lot of people are like, how do you do this virtually? I know it sounds wild. The internet is an amazing thing, and Zoom is an amazing thing. And there's so much you can do with whether it's a holistic design consultation. I spec out paint colors, I help them arrange things, we walk through their space, and it's really fun, right? There's also the Feng Shui consultations that your floor plan alone, if I did nothing else but just looked at your quick floor plan, could tell me so many things. I can look at your floor plan and say, you're struggling with finances. Relationships aren't so great, right? Maybe you're struggling getting new opportunities in your life, right? Because it's reflected in your home. And it feels mind blowing. It sounds mind blowing, but it's Powerful stuff. I mean, there's a reason it's been around for over 4,000 years because it works.
Yeah.
I know it's a lot to wrap your head around, but it is, it's really great. And I love it also this time of year for a lot of manifestation purposes because a lot of people are like, oh, I'm going to manifest all this stuff and vision boards and it's all fun. But then, to do all that, but then you can add your home as another layer. What do you want reflecting back to you? Clutter and things you don't love, or things that inspire you to make your X amount of money this year? Or, I have someone who's looking to grow her business that I'm working with right now. She has a small business, she just started. And so we're looking at her home to help support her in that.
Nice.
Yeah.
I moved 2 pieces of furniture at Christmas, really to put the Christmas. So I have 3 Christmas trees, but to put the main Christmas tree in a different place.
Okay.
And it literally, I energetically felt that it opened up my entire house.
Wow.
When you first walk in, everything I had like right there, I moved out of the way and then I put the Christmas tree right there.
Ooh.
And I chuckled because where I put the kitty condo, which was right there, I put it in a corner where I probably shouldn't have put it, and it totally worked. Totally worked. And the only thing I moved back was I moved back my table
Okay.
because it was too tight where I put it. And
Okay.
I mean, it still feels extremely open.
That's amazing. And the front entry of our home is called the mouth of chi, right? This is where energy comes in. We want to invite it in. We want to make space. We want to like suck it in when it comes to the door, right? So it's like, yeah, house guest, and you're like, come on in, let's grab a cup of tea, right? You want that energy, you want it pulling in and eye-catching and beautiful artwork or beautiful things that has, something that has a statement to it to pull it in. So I bet that felt amazing. And it can
That's
even be small. My one of my teachers actually has this saying that feng shui can kind of be like those old rabbit ear antennas. Do you remember? Like it's
oh yeah.
buzz, and then all
Yeah.
of a sudden it's clear.
Mhm.
And feng shui can be just like a small adjustment, and everything becomes clear.
It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So good. So good. Okay. I want you to share about your classes because I have taken some classes from you and I love it. Love
Oh
the
my
class.
gosh. Color mastery was so fun.
Oh, I have a folder that I bought that I put everything in because we
Oh,
left with color swatches.
yes.
And then I'm making notes for the different rooms of what I want, the colors in the different rooms. So thank you. That was
I
so fun.
love it.
So share with everybody your upcoming classes and your at the design school? No, certification.
Oh my gosh, it's such a fun time of year because I have so many things kicking off, but um I have so Color Mastery lives on my website. You can go take that at any time, but I do offer a live version. And sometimes you got to do the in person. Sometimes I do an in person. If you live, I mean, I'm happy to fly to Hawaii if you want me to come and do Color Mastery in person. Um, but I do offer it virtually, or if you are within driving distance, I'm happy to do it. And we create it into a workshop. We talk about color, the effects of color, how to select colors to support your body, to support your family. That's always around. Um, I also have a 2025 design trends because a lot of people are thinking about remodeling, redecorating. But you need to know before you implement a trend how that's going to make you feel because you don't want to paint a room a certain color and then you're like, oh, I feel depressed in here. There's nothing worse, right? So you need to know how those trends are going to affect your body. Something I think that's really fun I have to throw out is, arches are really big,
Okay.
archways and doorways and stuff. And if you think about the energetic body, your aura, it feels better to walk through a curved, rounded doorway versus a squared doorway that cuts off your energy field. So I'm super excited about that.
Love that.
Um, I also do teach if you want to learn design basic skills about colors and principles and elements of design. I teach a class that is 4 weeks all online through Purdue University. And then the part I'm so excited about is my feng shui certification. If you want to learn to do what I do, You can, and you can learn from me. It's a part online with 4 weeks online. And then it's a 4-day immersive retreat experience. I have a retreat home here near my home in Fort Wayne, Indiana. And we spend 4 days diving into Feng Shui, understanding it, learning it, and you will end with a certificate of completion as an instinctive Feng Shui certified professional. Yeah,
That
that's
is
all
so
for now, but there's a lot.
well, and you also have a podcast too that
I
people can
do.
tune into, and I highly encourage that, by the way, to listen to.
It's fun. It's called Feng Shui Living Tips for Busy Women, and it's easy to implement things. I don't think any episodes are longer than 30 minutes. They're typically 20 minutes ish. I want you to have digestible content that you can just go home and implement. Rotate a chair from facing one direction to the other, and you'll feel a shift, right? Or bring in a certain element or what to be aware of different times of the year. So, super fun podcast. It's available wherever you listen to podcasts or also on YouTube if you want to see my face.
And is everything like the certification and all the classes, is it all on your website?
It is, yeah. It's on my, you can go to my website, purelivingwithlisamorton.com, or the school, also elevatedlivingschool.com. Both have links. If you want to work with me personally, then I'd recommend go to Pure Living with Lisa Morton. That's where I do my one-on-ones. I also do offer a free 15-minute discovery call if you want to just explore and like learn more. Will this really help me? What kind of things will you suggest? And just get to know one another.
Nice. And I'll make sure to share links on this podcast to those websites so you can go check her out, as well as I normally have QR codes as well. And yeah, I'm very excited for you. So incredibly thankful that we met, that we've kept in contact. And we're both speaking at an event coming up, so I get to see you in person.
Give you a hug.
Cannot wait. And thank you so much for tuning in to the Live in Divine Harmony podcast. And I will see you in my online community, Experience Your Awakening. Sending you much love.